West Brom haven't had the best year of football. They were one of the favourites to reach the playoffs, but they ended up finishing 8th in the league at the end of this season. Luckily though, my schedule's just opened up, so I'm going to become the new manager of West Bromwich Albion, and by the end of this video I'll be making them the best team in the world. But hang on, there's a little catch. No transfers, no youth academy, no scouting system, I can only sign free agents. So this is the starting 11 I've loaded into, and it's hard to believe this team finished 8th in the championship. They've got some pretty good players like CDM Yokoslu, striker Daryl Dyke, and right winger Wallace. And they've only actually got one player on loan to them. I'm actually struggling to find a weakness with this squad. I mean, the squad depth could be a little bit better, but other than that, this team is solid. And we aren't changing the formation. The 4-2-3-1 for the time being actually suits all the players in this team. And we've also got a tidy budget to work with in Season 1 with 16 million to spend this year. But because we're only signing free agents, we can't spend a penny of that on transfers, which also means I'm releasing every single youth academy player, even Christopher Andreasen, who realistically would actually be kind of helpful. Now, we've established this West Brom side is a pretty good team, but we do need to strengthen it if we are serious about getting promotion, which means we will be on the lookout for a new goalkeeper, because 69 rated Palmer is the weakest part of this squad. After that, we could do with a new winger, maybe potentially a new CDM and play some Malumbi, and we could do with a couple of better defenders. But because we're in the championship, I'm not going to go overboard with the signings, but once we reach the Premier League, it's fair game. So now it's time to go to the free agents list to see who there is to sign. Now, I found a player I've actually never heard of before, Osman Bakari. He's currently a free agent, as you can see. He's 23 years old and he's 72 rated. He could go straight into the starting 11. And I've just found a pretty solid midfielder as well, Aaron Mui. He's 31 years old. He is 75 overall as well. We won't get a lot of years out of him, but for the next 2 or 3, he'll be pretty decent. And I found a fullback again. I've never heard of this guy before, Yaya Atihat Allah. He's 27 years old and he's 73 rated. I think he'll do a pretty good job for us as well. And so far, we've actually done well improving all the positions we wanted to. But we do still desperately need a goalkeeper, and I wouldn't mind another centre-back as well. And we still have 13 million to spend, so money isn't an obstacle here. Now, taking the advice of my friend MWS, I found centre-back Antonio Iglesias. He's 17 years old, already 72 rated. We could potentially have found ourselves a baller here. And I'll be honest, I'm gutted about this one. David De Gea is 87 rated. If we had him in the team, we'd guarantee ourselves promotion. But I've already said, whilst we're in the championship, I'm not going to buy any players that are completely stupid and unrealistic. However, when we eventually get promoted, if he's still a free agent, it's fair game from there. Now, there is obviously Carlos Acevedo. He's 26 years old, 77 rated. He is the obvious choice. But I've already used this guy a couple of times in this kind of video, so I'm going to leave him alone for this one. Instead, I'm going to go for fellow Mexican goalkeeper Jose Antonio Rodriguez. He's 29 years old and he's 72 rated. He'll go straight into the starting 11. And honestly, I'm very happy to leave the transfer window there, so this is the starting 11 that's going to go into Season 1. We've actually managed to buy for every single position we wanted to, man. I'm actually kind of surprised considering we're only allowed to sign free agents. And looking at the team as it is, I would be very disappointed if we didn't at least get a playoff position by the end of the season. Well, we just arrived in June, and West Brom, you know where to find me. We're 4th in the league at the end of this season. We're in the playoffs alongside Leeds United, Leicester City and Watford. Bloody hell, Leicester City and Leeds in the playoffs, man. Good luck to us. Well, we actually beat Leicester City in the playoff semi-final on penalties 4-3, and we're facing Leeds in the final. Biggest game of the season, boys. Leeds United at Wembley Stadium for a chance of promotion to the Premier League. Oh, you are kidding me. No! Penalties, what are you playing at? If there was any way to lose in the final of the playoffs, penalty shootout just isn't it, man. At least we didn't bottle a 4-0 lead, though. If you know, you know. I will say, though, the improvements in this team has been bloody brilliant so far. And it turns out Osman Bakari was an amazing signing. 27 goals and 4 assists in 48 games for him. 18 and 8 for John Swift. 16 and 7 for Carlin Grant. And 13 and 6 for Jed Wallace. Daryl Dyke didn't have many games, though. He's only 23 years old and he's gone to 74 rated. I think I'm going to send him out on loan next year. Even though we tricked the playoff final, we still had a bloody good year with West Brom. In real life, they finished 8th and we finished 4th, so that's something at least. But with the quality quality we've already got on the team and the quality we're going to add next year to it, we are definitely gunning for automatic promotion. But just a second, if you're still watching this video, consider dropping it a like and hitting that subscribe button. We're currently on the road to 30,000 subscribers before the end of next month, so if you can help me out achieving that goal, that would be amazing. We're now heading into season 2 of this rebuild with West Brom, and looking at the team, I'll be real, there's only a couple of areas we actually need to improve to get promotion. The first thing we need to do is bring in a better centre-back for this guy, but I do have a little plan for that. I'm converting Nathaniel Chalobah to a centre-back. It'll only take 2 weeks, and even if his overall doesn't improve with the position change, he'll still be one of the best centre-backs we've got. And on top of that, we could do with a couple of full-backs and maybe a new goalkeeper. And obviously, because we're still in the Championship, I'm going to avoid any stupid signings like David De Gea, for example. But that aside, if we're lucky enough to sort those positions out this year, we are genuinely good to go for promotion. And for a Championship side, this budget is actually mental. 27 million to spend in season 2. And I've actually found a pretty solid fullback to begin the transfer window. Luke Ayling, former Leeds United player, 31 years old, 74 rated. He'll do for at least 1 or 2 seasons. Now, this next player isn't for any position I want to improve, but he looks bloody good. Nacho Acuna, he's 18 years old, he's 73 rated. We're going to sign him up and send him straight out on loan. Now, this signing will be more for squad depth purposes for the defence. Danilo Arboleda, he's 28 years old, he's 71 rated. If anything happens to either one of our centre-backs, I reckon this guy could fill in quite comfortably. And it looks like one way or the other we weren't getting David De Gea anyway. He's gone to play for Como 1907. Now, that is a little bit of a kick in the teeth. Now, this is an interesting one. Miguel Almiron is a free agent. He's 80 overall and 29 years old. Now, me personally, I can't see this guy right now playing in the Championship, so for now at least, I'm going to leave him. But next year, if we do get promoted, you better believe he's going straight into our team. But I've got no issue signing this guy up. Alexander Aravena, he's 20 years old and 72 overall already. And as you can see, out of all the positions we wanted to improve, we've only managed to improve one position. I mean, right now it might not matter, but for season 3 or 4, it might really matter. Okay, scratch what I've just said. This guy looks very promising. Felix Acosta, he's 70 overall and only 16 years old, man. He's going straight out on loan as soon as he's signed. And I'm going to leave the transfer window there because there's no more free agents I can actually find that are going to improve this team. But the good news is Nathaniel Chalobah's training to be a centre-back is complete, and he's going to be a 73 overall centre-back. I mean, he is still going to be one of our best centre-backs, but I'm a little gutted he didn't go up in overall. And as you can see, I have been busy sending a lot of our players out on loan, including the likes of Felix Acosta, Nacho Acuna, and of course Daryl Dike. And that leaves our team looking like this going into season 2. And I'm completely honest with you, nothing else is acceptable other than a second place finish or a first place finish. If this team doesn't manage that, they're bigger bottle jobs than Tottenham bloody Hotspur. Boys, we've just arrived in June and I ain't impressed. With third in the league at the end of this season. We're once again in the playoffs with Preston North End, Bournemouth and Middlesbrough. But thankfully, we've once again made it to the playoff final after beating Middlesbrough 3-2 on aggregate. This time last year, we were in this exact same position and we bottled it. Are we about to bottle it again, or are we about to finally get promoted with West Brom? It's about bloody time as well. Swift and Yokosulu, or however you pronounce his bloody name, I've definitely butchered that name, but it doesn't matter. We are finally in the Premier League again. And I've just noticed Iglesias is injured, so we've been promoted without our best bloody player. And I'll be real, for a promoted side, these stats are shocking. 18 and 11 for John Swift, 16 and 5 for Wally, 16 and 6 for Grant, and 16 and 4 for Bakari. But looking at our lone players, some of them have improved more than others, including Daryl Dike, 78 rated. Boys, he is our new striker for next year. But this is where it gets more challenging, because whilst we are allowed to buy whoever we want now, we're also competing in the toughest league in the world. So it is going to be very interesting to see how we cope with that pressure. So we're now heading into season 3 with West Brom, and as you can see, we have finally got them back into the Premier League, but the job is nowhere near done yet. Whilst this team got promoted from the Championship, we need to get this team competing for the Champions League. Now, I'll be real, our front four, I'm very happy and content to leave that as it is. I think that's the best part of our team. It's just our defence that needs improving. Primarily, we need a better centre-back than Chalobah, and we definitely need a better goalkeeper than Rodriguez. But obviously, because we've now been promoted to the Premier League, I'm no longer restricting myself on who I'm allowed to buy. So you better believe if I see an absolute baller, I am definitely snapping them up. And it's safe to say we've got no money issues going forward. 54 million to spend in our first season in the Prem. And we've got our goalkeeper situation sorted out for at least 2 or 3 seasons. David De Gea is once again a free agent. He's 33 years old and 87 rated. Now, I have found a defender who will mildly improve our back back 4, Emiliano Amore, the Argentinian, is 29 years old and 74 rated. So I've just found someone's regen. I'm not sure who it is, but I don't care. Rafael Alves, he's 19 years old, he's 77 rated. He's going straight into that starting 11. And I found someone who will be good for squad depth. Colombian midfielder Steven Alzate, he's 25 years old and 75 rated. And again, I found another player that's going to be half decent for squad depth. Juan Felipe Aguirre, he's 27 years old. The Colombian is also 73 rated. I've definitely butchered that name, by the way. And for our final free agent transfer, Miguel Almiron is still a free agent. He's 30 years old and 80 overall. And with that being our final transfer, this is the West Brom side going into season 3. And whilst there is obvious weaknesses in this team, I think we've got way more strengths. I actually think we're a dark horse. I think we're going to do a lot better than people think. But then again, I could be completely wrong. We've just arrived in June, boys, and I called it straight down the middle. We're 12th in the league after 38 games. We have well and truly comfortably survived the Prem. I did say though, didn't I? We had way too much quality in our team to go down. And just look at the team, for God's sake, a couple of improvements next year in a couple of different areas, and we're looking at top 10 football next year. And the stats are pretty impressive. 17 and 7 for Bakari, 15 and 6 for Colin Grant, and 10 and 5 for Jed Wallace. I still can't understand how Daryl Dark is far better than Colin Grant, yet he's getting less game time than him. And I've got high hopes for 3 of our loaned out players. Alexander Arvina, who's 76 overall at 22 years old. Felix Acosta, 18 years old, 74 years old. I'm actually hoping he takes over from David De Gea. And the big one, Nacho Acuna, 20 years old and 78 rated. He's definitely going to take Jed Wallace's place when he retires. Overall, I'm very happy. A newly promoted team finishing 12th in the Premier League, that's a steady season. But like I said, a couple of improvements in certain areas of the pitch next year, and we are definitely looking at a top 10 finish. We've just arrived in season 4, and like I said at the end of season 3, there's only a couple of areas we need to focus on. With the retirement of Luke Island, we need a new right back in place of Ingram. On top of that, we could do with a new left back, a centre back, and a new CDM. Once we've sorted those positions out, this team is genuinely in contention for finishing inside the top 10 this year. It's just a question of whether this free agents list is going to deliver the goods. And we're starting with the bangers. We've temporarily solved our midfield problem with Ilkay Gundogan. He's 34 years old and 83 overall. Now, I did say he's temporary, meaning we'll probably only get one good season out of him. And boys, we are getting good players this season. Jafit Tanganga is 26 years old, 79 rated, but he's not going to be a fullback for us. And I've just found a striker who I think will end up being better than that. Matthias Ablin, he's 22 years old and already 78 rated. He's got some really good stats to go with it as well. And so far, we have actually improved the team quite a bit. We've got a new centre-back in Tanganga and a new centre midfielder in Gundogan. But we're still yet to find a better fullback than Ingram. And honestly, I'm worried that if we can't find one, this is going to be our best fullback. Now, I have just spotted Furlong on the subs bench. He's 74 rated. He will do a job for us if we can't find a better fullback than him, but I really don't want that to be the case. And thankfully, that isn't going to be the case, because I've found Jonathan Klaus. He is 32 years old, but he's 80 overall. He'll at least do the job for 1 or 2 seasons. And I may have just found Jonathan Klaus's successor as well, Gonçalo Esteves. He's 21 years old and already 75 rated. And this is an update on how the team's actually looking now. Now, whilst Jonathan Klaus is going to be our right back, Esteves is going to be our left back as well. I think it'd be a waste to loan this guy out when he's already better than our current left back. But whilst we sorted out our starting 11, now it's time to find some players for squad depth. So then I went on to find Maximilian Eggstein, who's 28 years old and 76 rated. Right back Libor Holek, who's 27 years old and 74 rated. And finally CDM Lasse Berg Johnson, who's 25 years old and 75 rated. And Jafit Tanganga is training to become a centre-back as complete, and he is now going to be an 83 rated centre-back. He is just a cheat code, isn't he? And with that, our transfer window is officially complete, and this is the West Brom team heading into their second season in the Prem. I honestly think we've done a phenomenal job improving this team, with only free agents as well, bearing in mind. Now, in our first year of the Prem last season, we finished 12th in the league, and that's pretty good, but with a much better team this year, I'm definitely expecting a better finish. Boys, we've just reached the end of another season, and yet again, we've done well in the Prem. We're 9th in the league after 38 games. Boys, we've actually creeped inside the top 10 this year. But looking at this team, boys, quite honestly, I'd be very surprised if we didn't do it. But the stats aren't really that good at all. 13 and 1 for Dyke, 12 and 8 for Wallis, 9 and 1 for Bakari, and 8 and 2 for Ilkay Gundogan, who's 35 years old. And Felix Acosta is definitely going to take over from David De Gea. He's 76 overall at 19 years old. Boys, we set out this year with the objective of getting a top 10 finish, and that is exactly what we've achieved. But we can't just settle out for that. We need to keep improving this team as much as we possibly can, and hopefully next year we can maybe creep into the top 8 or even the top 6. We're now heading into Season 5 of West Brom, and looking at the team, there's literally only 2 areas of this pitch we need to improve. Now, Ilkay Gundogan is 79 overall and in his mid-30s, so we certainly need a better midfielder. And Jonathan Klaus is 76 overall and in his early 30s, so we certainly need to improve this position as well. Now, Estevez is 78 overall and he's only 22 years old, so whilst he is one of the weaker parts of this team, I'm certain he's going to improve a lot this year. It's just those 2 areas we need to improve, and if we're able to improve them this year, we've got a genuine shot to gain a top 6 finish this year. But it's not up to me, boys, it's up to the free agents list to come and clutch for me. And I am almost certain we have found Modric's regen to start this transfer window off. Branko Dragovic is 19 years old, 77 overall, and got a market value of 21.5 million. And I've found a decent fullback, but I've never heard of this guy before in my life. Marco Catarino, he's 30 years old and 80 overall. And this is an update on how the team looks, and obviously we've got our right back sorted and hopefully our centre midfielder. And I can confirm Dragovic is Modric's regen. He's an exciting prospect. Boys, we have hit the jackpot with this one. But boys, we've got 70 million to spend, for God's sake. We've got to at least bring another 2 or 3 players in. So that's exactly what I did, starting with Brazilian fullback Renato Andrade, Spanish fullback Andoni Caballero, and finally Spanish CDM Santi Comisano. And in case you're wondering, I have sent both Andrade and Caballero both out on loan. They're both young and have both got a lot of potential. But that is where I'm leaving the transfer window this year, and this is the team that's headed into Season 5. And once Estevez and Dragovic start improving this year, this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with. However, David De Gea is now 35 years old. He is 86 overall still, but we're going to get about 2 or 3 seasons maximum out of this guy now. So that means I'm putting a lot of faith in Felix Acosta, who's 19 years old and 77 overall. I'm really hoping that this guy can come back a beast. Now, last year, this team finished 9th in the league, and that is bloody brilliant. But with the improvements we've made in the team this year, I definitely think we're capable of getting a top 6 finish. Boys, we're in June, and I am not happy with this. We're 11th in the league at the end of this season. What the friggin' hell happened this year? We legitimately drew 14 games out of 38. What the hell are we doing? We just giving points out for fun these days, or what? Every single one of you ought be ashamed of yourselves. Estevez, you're not bleeding happy. Well, neither am I, kid. And the stats just match how we've done this year. 19 and 4 for Bakari, 17 and 2 for Daryl Dark, and 10 and 6 for Nacho Acuna. Next year, we have to be doing better than this. No questions asked. We're now heading into Season 6 of West Brom, and I'll be honest, looking at the team, there's not really many areas we need to actually improve. Obviously, Estevez and Dragovic are the weakest parts of the team, but they are still very young, so they will eventually improve anyway. I suppose we could do with the new Cam. Swift is 32 years old. He is getting on now a bit. And David De Gea is getting on a bit as well. He's 83 overall, but Acosta will definitely take his place when the time comes. This season, I'm going to go for a different strategy when it comes to buying players. I'm not going to buy players for the sake of buying players. I'm literally only going to buy players I need in the team. But this budget's killing me, man. 83 million this year. We could legitimately solve every problem we've got with that money. But we are starting this transfer window in the best possible way. How Cassie's 19 years old, 81 rated already. When the time comes, he'll definitely be good enough to go in that starting 11. And for a backup central attacker midfielder, I found Alfie Divine. He's 22 years old and 76 rated overall. He'll do a pretty decent job for us. And I found a backup left back in case anything happens to Estevez. 78 rated Aaron. Now, I'm going to be honest, going through some of these players in the free agents list, it's disappointing. I can't find a single decent player to put in now. We're starting 11. And it's not like we're struggling for squad depth. We have got more than enough players. So with that being said, this is the starting 11 that's going to go into Season 6. And honestly, going into this season, I've got no expectations. Last year, I thought we were going to get top 6, and we ended up having a very bad finish. I've just got my fingers crossed that this season, it's a completely different story. We've just come to the end of another season, and this time we've done bloody brilliant. We're 7th in the league after 38 games. I'm unsure whether that gets us Europe or not, but I don't care. It's much better than 11th in the bloody league. Oh man, green faces all around. The boys are happy. It's about time. Could this season finally be the turning point we've been after? And Dax actually found his shooting boots this year with 27 goals and 3 assists in 37 games. Boys, it's taken us a long time, but I think we may have actually found our turning point in this rebuild. We've got a top 8 finish. The boys are all happy. It's looking pretty pretty good going into Season 7. We are now into Season 7 with West Brom, and I'll be real, I don't really know where we need to improve this squad. We've got a solid defense, we've got a really good keeper in the making with Acosta. I don't see where we need to improve it. I think our course of action for this transfer window is if we find any ballers or high-rated players, we just bring them into the team. Now, for some reason, all the footage I had where I made all the transfers for Season 7 was completely corrupted and unusable. But thankfully, we've got the transfer history, so here are all the players that I brought in on a free for West Brom. Now that we're all caught up, let's get back to the video. So this is the starting 11 that's going to go into Season 7, and I'll be real with you guys, I can definitely see this team winning silverware this year. Now, last year we finished 7th in the league, and I'm unsure whether we've got European football or not, so let's go find out. Boys, it's taken us 7 seasons, but we're finally in Europe. We're in the Europa Conference League in Group G alongside FC Michelin, Başakşehir and Derry City. And you boys know me by now, I don't want to just top this group, I want to win the entire goddamn competition, and I think we're definitely good enough to do it. We've just arrived at the end of yet another season, and thank God for that. We're 3rd in the league, and we are finally in the Champions League. Honestly, it's about goddamn time as well. And we didn't end up winning the Conference League, we got knocked out in the semis by Monaco. Boys, we're going to struggle to find free agents to fit in this team next year, man. Everybody is pulling their weight now. And to be fair, the stats are kind of average. 26-1 for Dijk, 19-7 for Bakari, 9-11 for Acuna, 5-12 for Dragovic as well. But forget the stats, we made it to the semis of the Conference League, and we made it inside the top 4 this year. This has been our best season by a country mile. But like I've said, it's going to be very difficult to improve the team with free agents now with how good this team's actually become. We're now into Season 8 with West Brom, and honestly, looking at the team, I'm genuinely ready to not even bother buying free agents in. The weakest part of the team is Dragovic, and this is looking Modric's bloody regen for God's sake. The only 2 types of players I'm going to buy in this transfer window are the high quality, high potential youngsters and the high quality players being released from the clubs. And to be honest, I've only found 2 players that fit that bill. 19-year-old Gonzalo Arias, who's 77 rated, and Mathis Barron, who's 18 years old and 80 rated overall already. Other than those 2, there was literally no player I can bring into this squad. And obviously those players aren't going to get into the team, so this is a little update on what the team looks like going into this season. And to be honest, I've got high expectations for this squad. I want top 4 football again, and I definitely want to get to at least the quarterfinals in the Champions League. And speaking of the Champions League, we've been put into a pretty cushy group alongside RB Leipzig, Celtic and Young Boys. RB Leipzig are a good team, don't get me wrong, but they're no Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund, so I'm definitely expecting us to top this group. So we've just reached January, and we're not doing too bad. We're 5th in the league halfway through the season. But to be fair, when you take a close look, we're actually joined 3rd alongside United and Arsenal, so we're actually doing a lot better than I thought we were. And just like I wanted to, we've topped Group F and we're cruising to the round of 16. And so far, it's a one-man show with Nacho Acuna getting 16 goals and 4 assists in 26 games. And this is the starting 11 that's going to go into the knockouts of the Champions League. And you know what? I think we've got a shot at it this year. We've got a lot of quality in the starting 11 as well as the subs bench as well. It's just a case now whether in the next 6 games we play in the Champions League, we're the better side. And after just making it past the round of 16 and destroying Benfica in the quarters, we are now in the semi-final. And I just knew we had it too easy so far. PSG up next in the knockouts, man. And I'll be real, that team that they've got right there is ridiculous. But to get to the final, these are who we've got to beat. So at home, West Brom do the... Oh my God, Divine in the 69th minute. Oh my God, I'm 27 and still laughing at stuff like that. 8 seasons of hard work has all come down to this, boys. We've got an advantage. Second leg. Oh, we've done it. Tanganga and Caballero, our defenders. Out of all the players to do it, the defenders come in clutch and book our place in that final. And in the Champions League final, we're actually facing Dortmund, and that is actually a really nice change. But whilst we've done well in the Champions League, we were shocking in the Premier League, 5th in the league at the end of this season. And again, 13 bloody draws this season. They've got a serious hard-on for getting a draw, haven't they? And everybody got involved this time. 8-10 for Haas, 10-12 for Dragovic, 18-7 for Bakari, 21 for Dijk, and 22-10 for our top goal scorer, Acuna. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the best free agents team we've ever made by a country mile. And on top of that, we found some hidden gems as well, like Estevez, 88 rated, Daryl Dijk, 89 rated, and of course Bakari, 90 rated. I think he was actually one of our very first signings in Season 1 as well. And I'm not going to play this game. I had me fun in the last video. I'm going to sit back, try to relax, and watch these boys become the best team in the world. Batarina on the ball. Boys, Aussie men is... Oh, no. Get fucking please. Don't let him shoot. Thank God. Great defending. Gabriel Varane. Florian Wirtz. Boy, oh no, he's all open. Can we put a foot in, please? Nope. Oh, I don't like that. Oh my God. Dortmund are killing us. Dortmund are pushing forward. Florian Wirtz, Aussie men. Okay, we got lucky there. What's he going to do? Oh, is he on? Oh, God. I want to see that. That must have been very close. Yeah, that's offside. This is really nice. Come on. Go back. Caballero. Inside?
Nope.
Hit it! Oh, good defending by Dortmund. So far, Dortmund have been the better team, but whoever scores that first goal is winning this game, I guarantee it. Comes back out to Acuna. He's giving it to Dragovic. Oh, please, somebody! Oh my... Kobel, you have absolutely no right saving that, lad. Oh, is he going to go on his own? What's he going to do? Oh, please, somebody hit it! Oh my God, thank God for that. Oh my God, boys. I said whoever scores the first goal will win this game. I really hope I'm right in saying that now. Florian Wirtz on the ball in our area. I don't like this. Can someone please put a tackle?
Nope.
No. Oh, great. Tengang is just insane, isn't he? We have just over 10 minutes until we're lifting that trophy. We just need to hold on to this lead. Aussie, man. I don't like this. Oh, my God. Adeyemi's on the ball. No. Not like this. Oh, my God. Thank you. Just clear it. Get it. Oh, my God. We've done it, boys. We're free agents only. We have made West Brom the best team in the world. It has taken us 8 seasons, man. 8 long seasons with a team that just loves to draw every single game, but we've done it in the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely click right here to watch me do this with QPR.